am still here. It's North Dakota Transplant. I apologize, I've been absent for a long, long time. In fact, it's truly amazing to me there are still those of you out there still watching my videos. I find that incredible and amazing. There are a couple of you that have kept in touch over the years since I started my videography journey in 2012. Yes, it seems like just yesterday, but it's been 8 years almost since all of this stuff began. So many things have changed since then, with an exclamation point on recently. Here we are, folks, in the mid of this COVID-19 disaster. It is some different times. Nobody really knows how all of this is going to turn out. But I can tell you this much. It's going to be a long time before things are the same again, if we ever even get back to that point. I'm not going to sling a bunch of doom here today. Enough of that going around on the internet already. But realistically, if you start digging in to the ramifications of this incident and the way that it will trickle its way through so many aspects of what we consider to be normal life, it's going to be different for a while, folks. The sooner that we all accept that and figure out the best ways to deal with it and move forward, knowing that change is constant, we just don't like to count on this much change all at once. Anyway, enough about that. We all know we're supposed to be social distancing. Well, I'm in South Dakota right now. To be honest, I can't think of any better place to social distance than here in my car. Yes, I still have this Silver Susie. She's got 164,000 miles on her now. And thanks to many, many sources, especially those above, she's a great running little machine. Decided to take a trip from Fargo to Sioux Falls today, visit with loved ones, social distancing, and drive back to Fargo. This has been cooped up here for almost a month now, so I thought it would be good to get out, see some things, spend some time driving. I've always loved driving. It's been one of my passions even when I was young. I could drive all day, all night. I truly enjoy it. It's a very peaceful, relaxing thing for me to do. So anyway, we're on the way back to Fargo. We're just now coming down out of the Sisseton Hills. They're pretty elevated at this point. We're on a slow decline down to where the land actually turns so flat from this point the rest of the way to Fargo. We've even got a river that runs backward here, the Red River of the North running backwards. Look at this interesting little morsel over there. You don't see something like that every day. It's a wonder it's still standing. The next real good wind, and that'll probably be the end of that. But anyway, we're passing the Wilmot Rest area here, headed down the hill. Your ears will pop a couple of times. Well, obviously your ears won't pop, but they would if you were in the car with me right now. So, hopefully you're all doing well. I hope this finds you all safe and healthy. Please listen to what people are saying. Social distancing, washing your hands. Lord, I think I've washed my hands more in the last 30 days than I have in the entire length of my life. But that's good. Gotta wash your hands all the time. Some of the things that I've been doing when I do have to venture out for some type of groceries or Lord knows you need to find toilet paper right now. That's a serious dilemma. But so far we're doing okay. We haven't run out. But I keep a bunch of napkins with me, and I don't touch anything. If I got to touch a door handle or anything to get in and out of a store or a building, I use a napkin. Can't find any hand sanitizer. The hopes of finding a mask are slim to none. But up here in North Dakota, we're not in that bad a shape. We've only had, as of yesterday, I'm not sure about today, haven't updated today, but as of yesterday, we had only had 7 people die. And as of yesterday, there were only 13 people in the hospital in the whole state of North Dakota. So we clamped down pretty quickly up here on closing things down, stopping the using of the bars and the restaurants, social distancing. We're pretty good in North Dakota when it comes to personal responsibility. And that's obvious in the numbers, at least at this point. Things can change. In fact, recent changes just in Sioux Falls as of yesterday and today, they moved to one of the top, I think they're the top 5 hotspot in the entire world right now in Sioux Falls because of 190 cases at a single meat producing plant. Don't know all the details on that, but that is considerably alarming to hear things like that. So anyway, don't go out unless you have to. You know, the scariest thing about this whole deal, and then I'll quit on the COVID-19, but the fact that up to half the people that get this thing won't even know they even had it. And that's what makes it terrifying. And in my opinion, the only way that we'll ever start to come out of this safely is when they can test the entire population to see who's had this virus and who hasn't. And those who have already had it and are not very likely to get it again are the folks that should be going back to work and taking care of things. At this point in time, it would appear to me that everybody's going to catch this thing, and you're either going to die from it or you're not. And we all know the conditions that can lean you one side of that line or the other. So enough about that. As for me, some of you have been asking, a handful of you still send messages every now and then. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I do miss the old days with the oil boom. That's a whole nother story for North Dakota. It's costing them more money now to pull a barrel of oil out of the ground than they could even hope to break even selling it for. So still just another facet of how this is affecting more things than we all might realize. So when I was the North Dakota transplant back in the oil boom days, I was working for a money services business, better known quote unquote a payday lender in slang terms. Oh, excuse me, my radar detector's alerting me to something, but I don't see anything to worry about, so we won't worry about that. I do apologize. It's probably pretty loud with the phone here pretty close to its location. But anyway, South Dakota back in what, 2014 or 15? No, 2016. South Dakota voted to get rid of payday lenders completely, shut down our company in the entire state of South Dakota, and they just decided to take North Dakota with it. So that career ended. For the past couple of years now, I've been working for a major U.S. bank. I'm into fraud investigations for debit and credit cards. Wow. Talk about an education and an eye-opening experience. There's not a whole lot of beautiful scenery here today to show anyone, so I'm going to give you a couple of tips. If you're out there and you use a debit or a credit card, I'm going to give you a couple of inside tips here that could save you some headaches and heartaches down the road. The first one, if you're using any of your cards to purchase over the internet or over the phone, anything that requires the use of your card without you being there to stick it in a card machine, if you have the ability, use your credit card. The reason I say that, when somebody gets a hold of your card information, and it will happen. I don't think there's anybody on this planet right now that uses a debit or a credit card that won't have some type of fraudulent activity. When someone gets the information for your card and takes your money with it, if you're using your debit card, that's your real money. You can't afford to have somebody cleaning out your checking account. Well, I can say some of you can, but most of us can't afford that. And it can happen. So please, if you have the ability, use a credit card. That money's just numbers on a piece of paper. The time it takes to get it all straightened out doesn't really have much effect on your day-to-day life. But if someone cleans out your checking account and you don't get paid for another 10 days, think of what kind of situation that puts you in. If you don't have a credit card, get a reloadable Visa or MasterCard. If you want to purchase something on the internet, load the purchase money on that card and use it. So after you made your purchase, there are no funds available there for anybody to take advantage of. That's my biggest tip. First tip, hottest tip. I'm going to give you 3 of them. Number 2, anything you see right now or hear right now that talks about a free trial or a free sample, pay only the shipping. Ding, 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 red flags, radar, uh-oh. Who does anything, gives you anything for free nowadays? Think about it. Here's what's going to happen when you order that free trial or that free sample, and oh my gosh, what a deal. It's only going to cost $4.95 or $6.95 or maybe even $8.95, and you're going to get that wonderful, amazing product that's going to solve the biggest problems in your life. But guess what? About 14 or 15 days after you pay for that free sample, you're going to see a transaction show up on your credit card, and it could be 3 or 4 transactions, and they could range anywhere from $90. I've seen them as high as $199. And it's because when you ordered that free trial or that free sample, you got signed up for a subscription. Yeah, a subscription. I know you didn't see it anywhere. You read through all the fine print. It probably wasn't there anywhere. But because you didn't call back to cancel that subscription that you didn't even know about, now this company plans on charging you that $90 to $199 on a regular basis for the rest of your life. Or at least until you call back and let them know that it needs to be canceled. So beware of the free trials and the free samples. Just remember what Grandma told you. Nothing in life is free. So keep that in mind. The number 3rd tip, and this will be for folks that may be a little bit up there in age, my age or even a little older, and I'm not going to give you my age, but let's just say I've been stomping around on this big round rock floating around in outer space for in excess of 60 years now. Anyway, the grandkids come over, the nieces, the nephews, or for even some of you younger parents that might not be aware, Anyway, they come over, or they want you to give them your credit or debit card number so they can play their amazing game on Xbox or PlayStation or Google. And it's only going to cost 99 cents, Grandma. It's only 99 cents. Oh, sure. What good, loving grandparent wouldn't want to do that? So you let them use your credit or your debit card to play their game. Well, unfortunately, as these children play these games, there are things that happen throughout the game that cost money. Whatever it might be, the coins you need to grab or the special tools you need to fight the next demon. Only $9.99, you can be almost assured to make it to the next round. And the next thing you know, that session of game playing got up into the $50, $60, $70 range. Oh my gosh, how can that happen? Well, and to make it even worse, let's say they only played 99 cents worth and they went home. And 2 or 3 weeks later, oh my goodness, what are these transactions on my debit card for PlayStation or Microsoft or Xbox or Google? $29.95, $79.95. What is this? Here's the clue. Once you let that child use your card number to take care of their little 99-cent game, those game companies record that card information and they keep it on file. So anywhere or anytime the child logs back in to play their games, guess what? Grandma or grandpa or sweet Aunt Ruby is going to pay for whatever they do, because that's whose card number the game company has on file. So there you go, folks. I think I just saved a lot of people out there a possible major upsetting headache for 3 possible reasons with your debits or your credit cards. This is a public service announcement, and the views expressed are only those of the commentator. Any commercials that you may see connected with this video were not in any way included in the proposal of these statements. Seriously, folks, I just wanted to share that. I'm enjoying this drive back to Fargo. I've probably got, a little more than an hour left maybe before I'll be back to my humble abode. Again, thank you to those few soldiers out there still keeping in touch with me. It's been a long time since I drove all those highways in North Dakota. I miss Teddy Roosevelt State Park. I miss all that excitement. But there's always change, and now, as exciting as it is, it's not near as gratifying. In fact, it can be quite terrifying, and when you start really thinking about things. But the situation that we're in right now has given us all another reason to take a look at the things we do and how they can affect others. So remember, you could have this thing and not even know it. Please pay attention to this social distancing, and let's all do our best part and our strongest efforts to try to keep this from getting any further out of hand. This is North Dakota Transplant. Bless all of you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Tell those that you love how much you love them. And I'll be signing off now until next time. Hopefully it won't be as long. Have a good rest of this weekend.